Right, I may well edit this video at some point to something more manageable because I don't actually have a lot to say planned. However, I wanted to, whilst I had the opportunity, in the spirit of some of my walk around videos of London, the park, the gardens, more properly named, as I'm walking through, these are prehistoric in terms of East London. Samuel Pepys, the diarist, whose monument we saw in St Olave's Church, visited this place, this green as it were, which was countryside in those times, on his way, I can't remember, somewhere outside of London, and he ate strawberries here, which I doubt from a supermarket, so I imagine they grew in the fields here. This place is known locally, or to locals I should say, as Barmy Park, and Barmy is East End slang, or a word used to mean crazy, mental, lunatic, that kind of thing. The reason for this being is the building we're going to see in a minute, which is 18th century for sure, maybe 17th. It was originally private building belonging to somebody called Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T. I'm pretty sure it was the 1720s. It was converted or designated as a private lunatic asylum, as one does, which was Wright's Asylum, aptly named. So after its usage as an asylum, these parks, which are Bethnal Green Gardens, officially have been known ever since as Barmy Park. So now the building from, I feel like it's 1920s. I should really do some more research instead of pulling this information out of my head. But in the 20s, I reckon, it was redesignated, the building, as a public library. And I think that's, I know that's reference library and public lending library. And inside, right, David? I think it's you, I can't see properly. Inside are various memorials because the British like to remember their fallen heroes. Also, because on the corner, what would that be? Oh, where is the river? Okay, so on the north corner, one of the north corners of this park, which I'm going to, this is the building, by the way, in the background. There's funnily enough, another memorial. But on the corner that I'm looking at, there's a recently, well, it wasn't recently commissioned, but recently completed memorial to the worst civilian disaster of the Second World War, which occurred in Bethnal Green Underground Station when, well, actually, as is often the case, details are now coming out that the official story is maybe not to be completely trusted because there was liability involved, etc. But the story was that an air raid siren, that was a new kind of a phenomena for East Londoners or Bethnal Green residents, sounded, and everybody panicked, or so the story goes, tried to descend into the tube station, and somebody slipped, and there was a pile-up of just ridiculous proportions, and like more people died in that instance than any other civilian accident, I guess, disaster of the Second World War. So I'm going to walk across to show you that, and then we'll come back to the former asylum. Oh, you can see, if I tilt you upwards, but the sun's over there. Give me a second. Hold on. Ah, this way. I'll just flip you out. You can see the old-fashioned, they were gas lamps. They're now LED, I think. But never mind. I think they're still like characterful. This is a private memorial. Well, when I say private, I mean personalised. This is Second Lieutenant Geoffrey Woolley of the London Regiment. 1915 was his date of death, and he's still got some, I'll show you, some hobbies, etc. Oh, you can see the weird, or weird for East London plant life. Right, so we're getting over there. We're walking slowly towards the memorial because it was the anniversary very recently. It was, I believe, on March the 3rd, but I cannot, off the top of my head, remember which year. So we'll find out. I don't want to guess. It's obviously 39 to 45. That would be silly, and it can't really be the latter part because I feel like people would be used to the sirens by then. But that wasn't actually the case. I think more recent developments, you know, the 100-year rule when they don't tell you anything, etc. Something like that went up. Some skullduggery went around because, I may get it wrong, and I'm really sorry if I do, but there was already concern about the lack of hand railings as you descend into the tube station prior to the accident, and that was, you know, that would have been instrumental in preventing it, one assumes. But I'm going to flip the camera around. It's this software, it's how to do it. I just read your comment. Yeah, when we go inside, imagine all the therapy that was in there. So this is, that there is, oh gosh, I should really know that. I think that's St John on Bethnal Green. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, that church. That's got pretty nice weather vane at the top. Not that we're into weather vanes really on this channel, but it is still pretty, as it were. So that's the memorial. It's such a shame the light isn't in the right place. So it's a stairway, as it were, because the accident happened on the stairway, and also I think the stairway to heaven type effort. So the names of some of the deceased are etched into this side. Strangely, I mean, looking up, the names aren't that common anymore, I guess. Some of them are. So there's those. Then there's also this side, more of the deceased. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. It's a shame if you can't. But there's those. This is the underside of the memorial. And then I won't be able to show you the other side because I've just realised that you have to view that from the road there. But that's a more compacted or concise list. And the ages of some, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. There are like 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. I see a 6-year-old. Lots of children, actually. Oh gosh, many more children than I previously thought. But that's a shame. Oh, I actually see one of my family, like ancestry names there, as it were. So anyway, it's quite a few people, as you can see. It's not just a couple. And of course, as I said, I mean, it took until, I think it's like only maybe 2 or 3 years ago that this was actually completed, this memorial, because it was privately funded. You're at East London. I'm just in your former manor. So yeah, it was privately funded, raised for by the families of the deceased. And if you imagine, that's what I should do. I should find out the actual date. Come on, Kate, get with it, woman. I know it was the 3rd of March. I just don't know which, like I said. But it's all under plastic. And right, it's such a shame. That would have been nice to read to you, but I can't see it under plastic. Oh my gosh, it says that there were already 2,000 people in the shelter when these people tried to... Okay, so yeah, 1940. So the second year of the Second World War, as we like to call it. Well, I don't know if we like to call it, but we do. So, here we go. The worst civilian... I should have just turned around. It's so... Come on, Kay. Right, it says... No, can't read with the shades. The worst civilian disaster of World War II happened here. On these stairs. So let me show you. On those stairs. Don't want to, dox anyone coming out from work. But on those stairs, right in front of me, 173 people died in a crush. Of people all trying to get to the safety of the air raid shelter, which was obviously down in the underground, as it were. So it is. Actually, it was called the Stairway to Heaven Memorial. So, and it's won some awards actually, which is odd, seeing as how the local authorities didn't really put themselves out to commemorate those people for some. I mean, what are we, 80 odd years later? Right, I think I should have done this initially. Take one of the information leaflets, and then I can just mosey on over to the lunatic asylum, which, no, I don't live there, and it's been decommissioned anyway for that purpose. It's now, as I said at the beginning, just when it was me and Daffyd, it's now a public library. So, and another palm tree. I'm not sure why there are palm trees in... I don't know what the relevance... I tell you what else I know about history over these sides, as it were. So behind, I'm going to just go in backwards mode. I don't know what the heck, my English is gone. Right, so behind the memorial that you can see there from the side is a junction of three roads. So there's Bethnal Green Road, there is Cambridge Heath Road, which was the road to the Heath at Cambridge, I guess, and Roman Road, which was built by the Greeks. I'm joking, it was the Romans. So that's the church bells. On that junction, on that crossroads, it was the site of hangings, only specific ones, not regular, take all the family, fun for all the kiddies hangings. Those were the Luddites. So if you've heard of Luddites or have ever been accused of being one, the Luddites were deeply distrustful of modern technology. And when I say modern, I feel like I'm right in saying it was the 17th/18th century. Yeah, so we're not talking about, I think it was, I hope I get this right. I believe, I'm confident-ish in saying that it was silk weavers, because there were many French Huguenots in the area. A bit further down, actually, they kind of settled before the Jews came along afterwards. And they were, I don't know, they used looms or hand. Oh gosh, okay, I've run out of craft-related terminology. They made lace. Curtains, maybe? I don't know, lace. And the big windows, the buildings that they were in because of the big windows, until the window tax came along. That's another story though, okay? The point is that there was machinery got involved, as it always does, which undercut, I guess, their sales. And basically the Luddites just went, nah, bruv, and smashed up all the looms. So we got there in the end, and then they got hoisted up a gibbet, as it were, potentially to cheers. I've no idea at this stage. So back to the library as it is now. That was Rights Lunatic Asylum, or Rights Asylum, I think they called it. I feel like this was in, there was a fiction show that I was watching. I was pretty sure it was here. Could have been Penny Dreadful, something like that. Not really sure. But let's see if it's open. Could be. You never know. You never know if they have enough money to keep the stuff open nowadays. It should be, shouldn't it? It's a library, it's daylight hours, it's sunny-ish. Nah, I'm not confident one bit now. What day is it? That's the joke. I don't know what day of the week it is. It's got to be Monday. I was at Speaker's Corner yesterday. What time is it? Is it gone? My gosh. It says it's closed at 6 p.m. I feel like maybe I'm the one who's got the time wrong as opposed to whoever locks up the buildings. So, got some nice crenellation, or whatever I don't know what you call it. Roses, apparently. Could be a rose. I'm not really a big flower girl. Now someone's just come. Is it gone 6? Hello? No, she's on the phone. Is it gone 6? Are they shut?
6:02, yeah, they're shut now.
God, they're prompt. They're running home for their dinner. Anyway, 2 minutes late. Shizzle. Story of my existence. Anyway, I might as well chit-chat to you while I'm just wiping snot on my finger. As you do. Because I wasn't planning on doing a vid, but I wasn't planning on going home when it's sunny either. So here you all are, and here I am. And here come the librarians who've let me down massively. Never mind, we'll reschedule.
Oh, you're right.
Right, let's get out of the way now. I really don't want to be this involved in I don't know. It is a lovely building though. I could do some brilliant build. If only I had the motivation consistently. There's some brilliant buildings in the East End. This was, so before these gardens were commissioned in it's either like 1657 or 1722 was that? Okay, so yeah, about 1650-ish, give or take a decade. This was poor's land, P-O-O-R, as in poverty-stricken, because we had a few of them going about. I believe they might, do you know, I might be talking out of my hat. I'm convinced. I didn't dream it. There was a workhouse close in and around these environs. And if you don't know what a workhouse is, let me tell you. The Poor Law, which was introduced, I am making up these dates now. They're in my brain somewhere, but I'd be no good on like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm going to call it 16. 20s. If there's any historians, I'm so sorry. But anyway, at that point, it became less the responsibility of the local parish because there was no welfare state at all. So it became less. So prior to that, the parish was responsible. The parish of your birth. If you rocked up, someone's phoning me, they can go away. If you rocked up to a different parish and said, I'm poor, bruv, as it were, or father, or whatever, whoever you were talking to, they'd say, on your bike, son, go where you came from, you know, go back to your own parish, even if you lived in theirs. So after that, the poor law came along at the beginning of the welfare state, which, love it or hate it, but it meant that we had workhouses for the first time, and they were essentially prisons. Like, you know, if an entire family fell on hard times, then the mother would be separated from her children. Her head would most likely be shaved. I don't know if that was just a shame thing or like for lice. Thank you. 1834. Where was I going in the 16s? That was when when these gardens were. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, don't ever have me with Chris Tarrant as a phone a friend. Not unless I've got Google next to me. Right, so where was I? Shizzle. Where was I? Yes, anyway, once the workhouses came along, they helped with poverty in the same way that there's killing people helps with poverty, because there's less poor people if they're dead, kind of thing. Because what they didn't, you know, people didn't stay in them forever, but some of them never came out again. Some of them, it was not like a holiday camp at all, one bit, but it was a kind of like yearly thing, maybe, if the gentleman of the house went to prison instead for his cushy ride. I don't know, but yeah, so there was one of those around here, because I know I did some research into it. And you alright, Dragon? Lovely to see you, love. So I'm just trying to shove stuff into my Mary Poppins-esque bag, but not my glasses, but then I can't read. No. Okay, anyway, so what else? I wonder if the church is open. Let's have a little mosey on around, and then as soon as it starts feeling a bit chilly, I'm out of here. I mean, I love you people and all that, but you know, there's only so much. I can't do the zip one-handed. Come on, Kay. Right. Oh, I've got a pram or two, or three actually, lined up. Yeah, something new. Well, yeah, it's only from a few weeks ago. I'm more of a bit part player. It's from the Speaker's Corner, but I want to watch it first myself in case it's too embarrassing, because I remember screeching. This geezer's just jarring the life out of me. As you know. There's a Catholic church over there, which is pretty. And then there's a Church of England church over there, which I feel like is lovely, don't get me wrong. Let's have a look. They've got modern Stations of the Cross up there, some modern artist type. They're quite good, except that there's one, the hand, like the foot is on Jesus' hand, I think, as he's on the floor, but it's got like, I don't know if it's a pair of Versace they're wearing, or like Vans or something, but they're like modern sneakers. Let's have a wander around the front, then we go through the other. There are two more that make up the trilogy of Bethnal Green Gardens. There is Museum Gardens, which is over there next to the Victoria and Albert Children's Museum, which is all toys, but is fortunately closed at the moment, because that is good, I must admit. Although it's really horrible over the years when the toys that you played with as a kid become like museum pieces. You just like, whiling away the finite hours before the grave. Anyhow, right, so this is, tell me it's called St John's, surely. I don't know why I'm looking on a poster for English lessons. St John? I don't know, I'm sure it is. I used to think it was St James the Less, but it's not, it's St John. Let's find out. This kind of speculation is too much for me. Shut anyway. There's a nice stone crucifix though. I like that. Anyway, someone give me a name. They used to have the names on the church. Right, let's find out. No clues whatsoever. I'm reading back to front on a poster at the front there. Nothing. Really? Okay, let's just go around the front, because this is getting boring even for me now. darlings. And then I'm going to take you through Museum Passage. Maybe, yeah, we'll have a little look. Oh, and then across the way, that's the oldest of the three. I'm going to show you as soon as this bus gets out my bleeding way. Sorry. Right. Yep, St John on Bethnal Green. Did I call it or what? Bang. Have they got the picture of the... Yeah, that's the picture I was talking about. Hold on. They look like Balenciagas now. I'm scared, but... That's the... What I was talking... Oh, my shadow. I do apologise. That's what I was talking about. And he's got a greyhound, weirdly. I don't know why there's a greyhound there. I don't mean a grey hand, I mean a greyhound. Because of my accent. Who's this geezer? Yeah, it's all a bit modern for my taste, really. But anyway, oh shizzle, I'll put the camera around again. Okay, so over there, that little bit of green, and it is a tiny bit of green, that is preserved for posterity. Like that was given in perpetuity to the peoples of this great borough. It's not a borough anymore, it's a part of a different borough. But there's an old, I don't know if it's like a musical song that's on Mother Kelly's doorstep. So that is Paradise Road, where that song takes place. I think I can see the blue plaque for the house, I'm pretty sure. So those are Paradise Gardens, and then over here is Museum Gardens. You right, Jared? And then I'm going to run out of information to give you. But the last time I was in here, I nearly had a row with a squirrel, a proper row. I happened to have a nut about my person, as you do. So I gave him, I feel like I had two, like monkey nuts or something. I gave them to him. I'm assuming it was to him because he was Larry. I gave him the nuts, and then he come back for the third, innings, and I was like, no, bro, I ain't got none. I'm sorry, I do not have any more. He ran up my leg. He was sitting on my lap, he had one in his mouth, one in his hands, and he's still sitting there, bogging me from my own knee. I couldn't believe the cheek of him. But yeah, I had to argue with him. I was like, no, I really don't have... he kept coming back, not menacingly. I mean, he wasn't a, crackhead squirrel, but he was keen on the monkey nuts. I don't have any nuts. I'm just checking my pockets. No, it's the wrong coat for random squirrel food. So I hope I don't see any. Oh yeah, so that's the side view, I guess, of St John's, if you can see it. I can't really see properly because of the glare of the big orange thing in the sky. I can't remember what it's called. It comes out around about the summertime. This is quite pretty, this. Of all the three gardens, this is the... I don't know, hold on. It's got sort of colourish type effort. Daffodils, because it's spring. This is the V&A, although it's closed at the moment for refurbishments, just for the last forever. I can show you the side. It's got Roman murals or mosaics. The back end of a cart horse. Sorry, I never noticed that before. Right, I'm going to flip the camera as opposed to... Okay. So, you can't... It's just terrible lighting on the part of nature. Anyway, actually, I can see them now. So there, along the top there's ploughing. I'm so glad that's ploughing because that man's stick is quite near the back end of that horse. And there's sowing. And then there's training the trees, apparently. No idea why. Haymaking, mowing. Very rural stuff because the building's old enough, maybe, to remember when it was a rural area and Samuel Pepys was having his little strawberry picnic. But that's the modern monstrosity bit at the front. Never mind. That's called Sugarloaf Walk. Don't know why I'm telling you, but I think it's cute that we still have walks instead of as opposed to American. Anyway, we're going to see if the Catholic Church is open because I'm not going in the police station, and I'm going to potentially wrap it up and do the prem later that I spoke about. So, such lovely old buildings. They're all grade 2 listed buildings around. Because this ground that I'm walking on is forever bequeathed to the people of the area. The buildings also, there's some there's restrictions on newer builds, I think. Although I've said that, I'll turn a corner and there'll be some condo visit. No, there isn't. Right, so that used to be a part of the church somehow. It's just the cross on the top that gives me the idea. But anyhow, let's go to the church proper. Oh, was I right? Oh, it's Museum Passage. Sugarloaf Walk is the other one over there. Sorry, I thought I'd gone crazy for a moment. Right. Yeah, the back of the museum is pretty unattractive in terms of hoardings. But it is a heritage site apparently. Right. So I did go in this church before with a view to doing a live, but there was a service going on and I obviously didn't. But it is pretty. I like a Catholic church when it comes to pretty, sparkly and all that jazz. Right. I have an earache and no one to stroke my cheek. Right, okay, so what are you called, you little church, you massive church? Right, that's the, without turning the cap. Oh, let's just turn it. Right, so that's, it looks weirdly like this. I think that must be a convent. Oh, that's the priory. So all that building there is the priory, and then that's the beginning of the church proper. And it is, yeah, we know it's a Catholic church, massive writing. What's the name? Our Lady of the Assumption. So the priory's open, but the church isn't open at all. Not even a little bit, but someone's having a big Cockney sounding row over the road on there. Ah, do we need it, bruv? Stained glass windows that don't look very good because the sun's not coming through them, it's going into them. I feel like that must be Mary. There's like a statue type thing. In an alcove. We'll see when they're open. Because usually that means that they'll be open just after that kind of thing for people to walk around. Okay. Saturdays and Sundays. That's about the size of it. Holy Days of Obligation. They're open in the 3 times a day. Okay, so Good Friday it is then, or whatever. Right, above the door of the priory is AD 1912. I'm not even going to guess. There's an M, definitely. It could be a T in old-fashioned. Who knows? Who knows? But now I feel like I've just exhausted this little square that I was willing to walk around in. That's York Hall there, which used to be just swimming baths, but is quite famous if you like boxing. That's a bus. That's some humans with a dog. Okay, I'm just going to walk down. I don't know where I'm going. There's nothing of it. Well, there's not much I can think of other than a pub I know of interest along here, but I seem to have found myself wandering. Yeah, can't really see. Oh, I do see a church actually in the background, but do I really want to? I mean, this was a. It's going to be shut, I know it is. And then I'm just going to be walking along making my earache for fun. No, do it another day. Right. Where do you want to go, James? Don't muck about. Don't say that place where I've just changed my mind from, because I feel like that's cheating. It's quite sunny, by the way. I can't see anything for a moment. As she walks into a wall. The sunglasses are obviously in the bag, so that's all long. And I'm using my own hand. This is the this is the hardship I go through for you people to hold this camera up. No stick, mate. Yeah, he's a nut, that geezer, who I was trying to drown out, who's having his round, because he's still having a round, he's off the phone, and he's on his own. So let's stop. Ooh, hold your horses. Does that go into the church? Sorry. Hold on a minute. Stay there. It does. Oh, it's boiling. God, they ain't got no problem in here yet. No, it's closed, the actual church. Is it? Yes, it is weirdly, but oh, there's a bomb hole. Okay, this is what it looks. I don't know anything about the history of this church, other than it's got some nice wooden stations of the cross. None of them are wearing trainers. it's really warm in here. They do lots of missionary work, that's lovely. Dude, there's that Moses of Mary, as it were, with mother and child alongside each one, but she, the main Mary, as it were, she's just in prayer for the candles. See, it's odd because I don't know who they get. That's got to be St. Patrick, unless green was in fashion. I don't really know. I think that's just a nun. I'm not really. I did a course at university on Mariology, but none of it's flooding back at the moment. Oh, that's nice. Oh no, it's not. There used to be holy water, like a font or whatever you call it, the bit where you dip, and then I don't know. But it does say, of your charity, pray for the soul of Clement Cottrell Dormer and Florence M. Cottrell Dormer. It says, my Jesus mercy, 100 days. Okay, but I don't know why they bricked up the, probably, it can't be COVID, no way. Oh, that's all right. Clement and that, they're remembered in the real one. So that's a good job. Oh, it's still hot in here. Jesus is covered up. I'm not sure if any Catholics want to tell me why. Maybe it's because Easter week is almost upon. Yeah, I don't know. I know purple is a royal colour, but let's get out of it now because I feel weird. Let me just try the last doors. There's no way they're going to make people walk on this backwards. Oh, sweet. No, it's locked. I can see already. Okay, I shall come back. If I bump into a nun, I'll arrange to come back when it's open for prayer. Sweaty. I would go up the stairs. I love a little, like, mysterious staircase, but I'm not actually, like, announced my presence, so I feel funny. That is a shop usually, but there's no one serving. Let's get out, chaps. Let's go down the disabled room. Right, I've got to write my nose. Sorry. Right, any questions? Scholastica. Like Nicola Elastica. No, I don't know who that was. She was just, it was a nun in blue with rosary. So she didn't look very studious, if that's the scholastic reference. But yeah. I can't believe how unseasonably warm it is for March. It could be because that person has to still stop phoning me while I'm doing this. Or it's just because I've got a lot of clothing on. I saw someone in his t-shirt earlier, I nearly fainted. But it was a boy, so they're probably just stupid. Or trying to impress somebody. So these buildings are 1901. This borough has the oldest local authority housing in the country, as far as I know. I think it was, maybe it was Europe, it wasn't. But yeah, around about the turn of the century, the 20th century, 1900 I think. They cleared out, they were called the rookeries, which were just slum tenements with people sharing beds. And there was a thing, I'm not joking, where people, they stretched a piece of rope, like between two posts, and people would pay to go to sleep on the rope. They would just lean on the rope and then to wake them up in the morning. You'll love this. Someone would just come and cut the rope. What a way to wake up for people who, you know, moan that their coffee isn't ready in the mornings. Yeah, just bang. That's how you wake up. Broken nose potentially. Right. So, I saw a question. Palm Sunday. Oh, the covering, Daffod. Is that right? I don't think I've ever seen that before. No, I haven't. It's just an odd. I don't know. I think this police station was in episodes of Luther. Maybe. No, I'm telling fibs. On the other side of St John, which is there at the back of it now, they repurposed a disused building and made it into the police station in the series called Luther with Idris Elba. Not a not Martin Luther. I don't remember Martin Luther running about London solving crimes. I mean, who knows what he did in his downtime, but no, he didn't. Right, so I feel like I may have just wrapped it all up. Hold on. I know, repent. But I feel naughty, even though it's a Catholic, like, even though it's not my church, as it were. I would feel bad if someone just went, "Oi, what you did?" And then it was a nun who spoke real properly. Like, I don't know, I'd feel naughty, especially with you all with me. I'd be embarrassed. Like when that vicar had punished me for filming in Southwark, and I told him a little fib in front of you all, and I felt afterwards, I was like, oh, I should have done that. I did fib, I was about to lie again. I just said, no, it was facing me, the camera. He said, well, as long as you don't point it the other way. And I said, no, of course not. So in the end, I was just spinning around like that instead of turning the camera. So it wasn't technically a lie. But it was like when you're a school kid and you just deliberately do something that's not quite the thing, but it is the thing. Anywho, there's nothing of any, trust me, I'm now going into like, this is it's called Roman Road. And it was, like I say, built by the Greeks, joking. So it's pretty straight. I don't feel like that's video worthy. The moon is out, if that's of any interest to any werewolves. It's not full, so you're fine. I could get on a bus. What is near here? There's another church that I always liked. Cherokee! I just saw your name, love. There is another church that I like. The spire or the steeple was I don't know, it got lost during the Second World War, and they have like a little squat kind of concrete thing now, but I always want to go in there, and sadly it's never open. I'll tell you another thing, by the way, now I've just got on my soapbox. 2 different churches. Oh, I could take you to St Dunstan's. Fancy a bus ride? Who wants to go on a London bus? Answers shortly before the different bus comes. Yeah, so I 2 different Church of England churches. One of them is the church that I was telling you about that's never open. The other was, don't know, because I always look at churches. Could have, I wouldn't want to guess, but I think I know which one it is. Either way, there's this thing in the Roman Catholic tradition where a priest comes around and blesses your house / church. And I think to show it's blessed, or to keep the magic in, I don't really know, they do this chalk thing above the door, the threshold of the door, like above the lintel. So if there is any Catholics listening to me butcher in your tradition, then you can let me know what that is. It always says like RCM plus the year plus the something or other. And I've seen it on 2 Church of England churches, and I'm like, maybe it's not a Catholic thing, maybe I just made that bit up. How do I feel? Duad. I'm not a hypochondriac, this is the thing. Since December the 20th, it's much more likely that I'm unwell as opposed to well. It's just how life is at the moment. I've had like a couple of weeks off where I've been alright. At the moment I have an earache. I don't mean like as if I was standing next to you, you said, oh, I've got earache. I mean, no, actually my ear is aching. But that's improved, and I didn't bother taking any like antibiotics or anything. I just can't be bothered anymore. I just took painkillers like they were going out of fashion. Like that. Jeez Louise. Right, so the glare off of that bus just tells me that I'm not getting on that bus. But who wants to go to St Dunstan's? It was the Bishop of Stepney was like important dude, so it was the ancestral like seat of the bishopric, as it were. Potential emphasis on the prick, to be fair, because one of them was a bit of a, he wasn't I don't think many people were that sorry when he went on, like passed away, but that was in the olden days, so we don't, we're very forgiving people. But if you want me to, I can go that away, because there are tube stations outside of this part of the borough, so just let me know. I mean, I don't mind. I don't know how much battery I've got, to be fair, but I've got a charger on me as far as I'm aware. And a runny nose, which is just getting on my nerves, but I can't be bothered to go in my bag for the spray. I will when I get on the bus, whether you're with me or not. now. What bus is it? That's the point. Oh yeah, there's only 3 buses available, so yeah, it's that one. I'm getting on it anyway. I'm getting on it. Whether you people want to come with me or not, I want to go because it always looks open around about school, like chucking out time. Because I see school kids. I've seen school kids in the grounds and think, you know what, put that cigarette out type thing. Let me ask the driver. Would be the sensible thing to do. He ain't gonna know the church. I just fell in. Do you go to Stepney? Stepney.
Yeah.
Whitehall Slade? Yeah, brilliant. Alright, thanks. Sorry, I just have to find my wallet. Give me 2 seconds. They're very trusting. Found it anyway. Thank you.
Bus station.
Let me sit down before he puts his brakes on because they're not that understanding. Right, let me see. Open top. No, darling. Not in this end. Not in this end of London. In the West End, maybe. For the tourists / idiots who pay silly money to get on a bus with no roof.
Place.
Okay, it's not going to take us long. It's literally at the other end of this road, really. A couple of stops. If I see anything... Oh, that's the London Buddhist Centre that we just went past. You can't see it, but... Yeah, it used to be a fire station. I think it was probably better served as a fire station. But it's a nice building anyway. There are some... How cute are those little houses? Some of... Yeah, this area was bombed in the Second World War, so there is a mixture of like, historic buildings and newer monstrosities. So like, so nothing really of interest at the moment. Stepney, what's happened in Stepney?
309 to Canning Town bus station.
The Siege of Sydney Street. That we're not in Sydney Street, obviously, but we're not.
Avenue.
Thank you, darling. We're not very far from it. That was Mosley and the brown shirts, the fascist uprising. In keeping with the World War II theme. Oh, now my other ear's aching. Sorry about the noise, the ambient noise. I don't mean me talking, although also apologies. Right, we're almost there. So, my painkillers are definitely wearing off, everybody. You'll be pleased to know.
Stepney Green Station.
Flattery is a technique, I'll give you that. Cherokee's not a slouch when it comes to the Jesus information. Or probably some about England either. Because of reasons. Alright, we're almost there. I feel like it's not this bus stop, the next one. I'll get fish and chips. I'm not hungry, so I won't. Right. Yeah, I know. There's loads of them, Patriot. Trust me, there's loads of humans in this area. It's a source of... I mean, potentially it must be a blessing, but some days it doesn't feel like that, babes. It feels like
309
humans here.
to
Everywhere.
Canning Town bus station.
Gerard. Right, lovely. Great Commission. No, not the DLR, babes. This is a bus, although it's a bit of a weird little one. It's like a hopper. I don't know what they call it. It doesn't tell me. It's not a double decker, and it's not even a single decker. It's the older fashioned class. I don't know. But I'm only on it for a minute. You are the Great Commission. I only do this for you. Once you've been and gone, this is all part of this is all history. I'm joking. It's not long now, surely. It's got to be like, is it the beginning you're coming, or the end of that month, or this month even? When are you getting it? Is it the first week or the last week? I can't remember. Third week? Yeah, Gerard, sorry, I've been unwell, and sometimes I'm like motivated to do them, and then I think,
Mile End Road.
You know what I mean? Like, that's literally what I think. I'm like, oh, I can't, I don't feel well. Hang on a minute. I pressed the button way early. We've got another road to go down. So, yeah, I will be doing so. I've got maybe I have to do them pre-recorded when I feel well and then just put them up, but yeah, I've had some madness going on in my life, Dude. So I apologise. I do feel better when I'm making them, as it were. But I just,
309
it's hard, like,
to
Cherokee, I still
Canning
feel you
Town
in.
bus
When you
station.
say end of April commission, do you mean literally the beginning of May, or do you mean the last? Don't tell me the date on YouTube. That's ridiculous. Asking for your personal info like that. But yeah, if you can try and hint at the exact date, then I can make sure that Sunday at least is. I've got a load of. I don't know if I should. Yeah, there's a load of Catholic children who are being confirmed that I'm going to try and help, like, answer some questions with. That's around about potentially the end of April. Spirit of Orange, if it is, it's a weird one because you can only spot the one bus. It's definitely not the glare of sunlight spotting. It's such a nice day, I should be walking, but I just can't be bothered, as it were. This would have took ages. This I would have been waffling like a good. Oh, I was going to do my nose. Thank you for reminding me. Nobody. Brilliant. Okay, great connection. I am on Skype, by the way, with the same name, obviously.
Stepney Green
That doesn't
School.
mean I'll get around to even seeing it, but have a go, please. If you can, I mean, if you want to. I can't find my nasal spray. Oh, I found the selfie stick. It's a bit too late. Shizzle sticks. 1928, that building, but there's nothing really like of note. It's only for people who live in really young countries, I suppose, and that's a bit weird. Alright, not this stop, the next. I know, it's not the most modern of the vehicles. I can tell you that much. Oh, I found it. Thank you, Jesus. That looks like that was a rectory or a vicar's house. They usually are in that kind of style, even though it was a bishop.
309
Anyway, the church is across there.
to
When it was
Canning
built, it
Town
would
bus
have been
station.
nothing in between. No big secondary schools or anything. Sorry. I do apologise. It's not whipped cream again. Although that would be funnier. Okay. I hope the church is open. I hope so. There's a lovely skyline that way, but the sun is just really not playing ball today. It's in the wrong place. Oh, shizzle. I just realised it doesn't turn where I thought it turned. I should have got off the last bus stop, everybody. Never mind, I'll be walking into the sun and you'll get a good view of whatever it is.
Harford Street.
Sorry, while I just work out where I am. The longest. Come on. I'm always tempted to press the override for the doors and just get off, but I know that if I ever did that, I'd probably get run over anyway. Just like in some sort of fast film. Oh, come on, bro. Don't take me all the way to the other end. Jeez Louise. I might as well have walked from my original starting point. Right, let's get through the bus. Sorry, babe. Thank you. Oh, missions. Anyway, I can breathe again, which is good. Let's get my bag on that. Just come to it. Right. I'm hardly organised, as you can tell, and I can see the comments actually weirdly until I step out into the sunlight. Or get my phone nicked, because this is not exactly the most salubrious of areas, but they will bite off more than they can chew. With me, Right. So I'm near the back of the church kind of thing, but I don't know if I can get there because I'm not like an actual London tour guide. So I'm just going to walk around to the front, which is easier. And I've got to check my battery actually. Sorry. No, we're alright for a minute. I have to plug it in a sec. As soon as we get in the church ground, someone remind me, because my memory is awful. Right. These bright ideas of mine. Could have just gone home, had a cup of tea. But it seems too sunny to be sitting indoors. Obviously that doesn't count if you live in a sunny country all the time. Never get anything done otherwise. Oh, feet. Right, let's get around this. Let's chuck this left when we get to the junction. And then we will see the church. I'll turn the camera around. And then it is very pretty. Well, I like it. I mean, you might not like it. But then again, tough kids, as it were. Right. I should put my glasses on, but I'm just going to go blind in a second once I get around. Yeah. Jeez. People think I'm filming them still. Like I can't see where I'm going. Why would I be filming outwards? Thank you. Cheers. Right. Ooh. That really is too much now, this sunny business. I don't know if they didn't get the memo that this is England. Where's the rain that we ordered? Right. Oh, God. Such a long corner to get around for some weird reason. It's not when you're in a car. That's the only time I ever come here is in a car as I'm going through. Right. Yeah, you and Olaf. Right, let's get a wriggle on. Is that John? You right, John? Oh, come on. Come on, legs. We can do it. We can do it. We're on the final furlough. Right, now imagine that there aren't a million cars and chicken shops and schools and that. And then let me just show you it's so cutesy. I love this church. I don't know why. Oh, mate, you're spoiling my shot. Anyway, whatever. Look, imagine without the railings and the lamppost. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, just anyway. That, just with fields all around it, because that's basically what it was. And it is St Dunstan's. I should have really looked up who St Dunstan is, because I have no idea. Really? The man's on the phone, you know. He's talking loud enough as if he's talking to me. It's not a tin can and a string, it's a mobile phone. On his mum's life though, so it must be true, bruv. Anyway, up the top there is, I don't think that's a naval ensign, that's just a flag, but it is, no, it is naval, because it's red with the Union flag in the top left corner. But I don't know what the white one, the white flag with the Union flag is the second most important one. So yeah, it is open, by the way. Let's see, this is 1841. Alice, who was married to James Dunnet of this parish, who died suddenly on the 3rd of February 1841, and she was 46, bless her. And I can't read the epitaph because of it's a bit eroded. But anyhow, there's a war memorial, because we do like them, as I say. These are some massive grounds actually for a church, even with the graveyard element. They're still massive grounds because, like I say, this was the bishop's seat, so he got special like favours. So it's basically in a field, it feels like, for a Londoner anyway. Who's this? Oh, I wish you people would have, well, they were 75, whoever they were. Who were you, love? No, something to the, okay, Sarah Daplin, maybe. Yeah, Daplin, who died the 4th day of March 18, could be 73, age 75 years. Anyway, now you know. You didn't know, now you do. Should we go? I just saw someone walking the camera around to me. I do apologise. Just so I could. Right, let me tell you. Let me give you the spiel, as it were. You are standing on holy ground and in front of an important place of prayer. Over 1,000 years ago, St Dunstan dedicated a church on this site to all saints. It is the mother church of the East End, and with the ancient port of London nearby, became known as the Church of the High Seas. That's an interesting fact that I can tell you now. It doesn't say it there, but anyone who is born or married at sea on a British naval vessel is registered in this church, this parish, just for fun times. I don't know why. Anyway, it became known as the Church of the High Seas because we used to have the East India Company, you know, not far that way, nearer to the church that I took you to the other week. For this reason, the red ensign that I showed you at the top is still flown from the tower, which also houses 10 bells of Stepney mentioned in the nursery rhyme Oranges and Lemons. When will that be? Said the bells of Stepney. That one. Yeah. Right, so in each generation, large numbers from this community have gone out to the four corners of the world, and Stepney has become home to many newcomers. You can say that again, bro. Through all this time, people have gathered here to worship God and to love and serve him in this neighbourhood. The parish church of St Dunstan and All Saints is a place of beauty and history, as well as being the centre of a lively community of faith. It is God's house, a house of prayer. You are very welcome here. They didn't mention the camera though, but let me show you above the door. So there's a ship, as you do when you're like a high seasy kind of church. This one, I'm not too sure of this dude. It looks a bit Masonic to me, but I'm not an expert on Masons. He's got the weird, it's like a gremlin-y. He's got hooves. Could be Satan. I just don't know at this stage. It's a hoof guy. It's like a panpipe player. I don't know, man. He's got hooves. Like a centaur. He's got one big arm. Or what. Anyway, he's got that weird, like, tweezers. Tweezers. Like, Alright, Jono's in there somewhere. Yeah, tweezers as in, I don't know, could be medical thingies, but I've got a feeling Masons do like a little compass or whatever they have. Right, let's double check if there's anyone. Look, I love a little mysterious little door. I'm convinced that one day C.S. Lewis's like Narnia is just going to come alive. And it is open, but there's people in there praying. Alright, let me turn it around to me. Avoid them. Okay, so at the moment I guess I can show you stuff back to front. But I just want to make sure that I don't see the rector or the vicar. So once these people leave, then I won't feel like I'm intruded on anybody's prayer time. Let's just get them out of the shower. You're going to hear some giggling because there's somebody. That's the organ, obviously. Back of the organ. These are just like memorials. So the west window was erected by the Charrington family. So Charrington's was a big brewers in the East End. In fact, on the main road that we crossed over to get here, there was a massive Charrington's brewery for years. It says here in brass, this church was restored and the second vestry and porches erected by voluntary contributions AD 1871. And the rector at that time and the rural dean were Joseph Bardsley. And there were church wardens, and the architects were Newman and Billing, apparently. The builders were F and T.J. Wood, because I know that this church had such a big congregation at one point, or covered so much of like a huge parish that it was the reason that St Anne's was built, which is the one that I took you to previously. Up there, that's Joseph Jewson Cooper Esquire, who was a late quartermaster, 43rd Light Infantry, who died at Hastings on the 1st of May 1874, and he was 36 years old. After serving in his regiment for 21 years, he took part in the suppression of the Indian Mutiny and New Zealand War. This tablet is erected by his brother officers as a token of their esteem and regard, which is nice. That's the Royal British Legion. Those are their flags. That's the Royal... I wish the lighting was better. That's the royal coat of arms at the top. The lion on the left is for England. The unicorn on the right is the national animal of Scotland. Wales never gets a look in. Sometimes there's a little feather or a leak or something. But yeah, that's the union of England and Scotland, clearly. But yeah, Wales just didn't get a look in. Even when it was like, yeah, even the first king of the three kingdoms, it was actually England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Look how old that is. It just looks old. I have no idea of its history. I thought it was a baptismal font. But it's not, it's the holy water, which is odd. Anyhow, that looks like a bishop's seat if ever I've seen one. I can't really see much detail other than, are they fish? Are they? They are. No, they're hogs. It's a hog, I think. It looks like a hog or a dragon. You can't tell with these medieval type, you know. It's got the English roses. It's maybe a Chinese hog. I have no idea, but it looks dragony, but it also looks piggy. And therefore, I don't know. I could ask, but I feel embarrassed. And I think they're locking up soon, so I need to hurry up and get you round. There's also the purple royal sash. Oh, the sugar, the vicar's over there talking to a congregant. I didn't notice them. That's a shame that his memorial is like tucked away there behind the organ. That's old. I don't care what you say. I just try not to fall down some grating. So, Revelation 22 is cited at the bottom. It says Captain Michael Merrill Clark and his wife, eldest daughter of the above named Elizabeth Statute, have erected this monument as a testimony of her virtue and their love. Oh, their spelling was definitely optional in those days. So they are quite clearly Tudor. And up there showing the piety or the, you know, the prayerfulness. Stations of the cross around the wall. I'm going to keep away from the vicar, as it were, like with the camera, because there were two people with him. Maybe they're, I don't know. That's Charrington again, the brewers. Stations of the cross. Is Jesus being offered a towel by Veronica? Another Charrington, who knew? Yeah, and a remembrance stone to another one. It's Kitty's table. Sorry, I got more interested in that for a second. That's not a Charrington. Go on, son. That was a rector. That's in Latin, though, so that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get anything because you can't see it on the camera. That's... Oh, a battery. Nobody... Let me stop and come back to you. 2 seconds. I'm going to stop this stream and I'm coming straight back. 1 sec.